This week in show history, 4 years ago this week, Mitt Romney released his tax returns. This was in the midst of the 2012 campaign, the primary race for president. Mitt Romney released his tax returns, and they were very, very disturbing. And it wasn't disturbing that he made a lot of money. What was disturbing was that Mitt Romney paid less in taxes than people who made 1/365th of his income. In other words, people who make less in a year than Mitt Romney made in a day were paying a higher tax rate. We also learned Mitt Romney was keeping money in European banks after talking about how bad it would be to be more like Europe. He seemed to have no problem with his dollars being more like euros. And we've talked about this before, right, Lewis? We've talked about Warren Buffett explaining that he pays a lower tax rate or the same tax rate roughly as his secretary. This is a real issue. This is an issue that is going a long way towards furthering wealth inequality in this country. Bernie Sanders has sort of become the poster boy for discussion of this issue on a national stage. Occupy Wall Street helped to bring this issue to the forefront. And going back 4 years, Mitt Romney was a great example of exactly this problem.
Yeah, I'm glad, if win or lose, I'm glad that Bernie has kind of made this a much bigger discussion. And it is really not just rich people paying low tax rates, but income inequality in general got to be one of the top three issues facing this country.
And there's so much confusion over tax rates, marginal tax rates, et cetera. You'll hear someone say, oh, such and such wants to raise the tax rate to 50%. Well, what does that really mean? People seem to not understand how tax rates work and that they are marginal. You have a tax rate for the first $10,000 you make and a tax rate for the next $15,000 you make, or however it is. I don't remember offhand. If you raise the top tax rate, for example, for those earning over $250,000 a year, you raise that top tax rate to 50%. Someone who makes $300,000 a year doesn't pay 50% of their taxes on that entire $300,000. For the first $250,000 they earn, they pay the lower rates associated with that particular income bracket. Only for the $50,000 above their $250,000 earnings would they pay that highest rate. That's just one of those basic things, Lewis, where if people don't get that, it's going to be really hard to have a substantive discussion about tax policy.
Well, the right is really good at using language to trick people. I don't know, to convince people of that their tax plans are the best plans. You know, pull the wool over their eyes.
No doubt about it. We see it happen with loopholes where somebody will say, well, look, this is what the tax rate is on paper, but we also have to look at the effective tax rate. And that is why Warren Buffett ends up paying the same tax rate effectively as his secretary. And then there's this other thing that's happening now as a result of Bernie Sanders and his plan for Medicare for all. People say, oh, but are you raising taxes to pay for that, Bernie? And he says, well, yes, the tax rate will go up, but you'll no longer be paying health insurance premiums. So you'll actually be saving. Are you raising taxes, Bernie? Well, yes, the tax rate. Oh, so you're raising taxes. Got it, right? This complete thing. If I give you $10, but charge you $5.
Nuance.
You're still coming out $5 ahead, right, Lewis? And that's what people seem to be missing with this. Oh, but you're raising taxes.
Anytime there's nuance, people are lost.
Yeah.
Because
to call that nuance is crazy.
Well, that's what it is, unfortunately.
GameFly is sort of like Netflix for video games. They have over 8,000 new and classic games for Xbox One, Xbox 360, PS4, PS3, Wii, and a bunch of other platforms. And you can play as many games as you want for one monthly fee. And if you find some games you want to keep, you can buy them for a low used price. There's never any due dates or late fees. And our audience can get a free 30-day trial at gameflyoffer.com/TDPS. The games are shipped directly to you with return envelopes included. There's no contracts, and you can rent games through the mobile app. Get the free 30-day trial for the David Pakman Show audience and support our show by going to gameflyoffer.com/TDPS.